What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today we got a really fun video coming at you. Today we have Mystique, issues 1 through 5, the entire full miniseries. And this comic is packed full of awesomeness. This is kind of like an action spy thriller with a little Shyamalan twist at the end. But what is really interesting about this comic is how Mystique gains the powers of Magneto. Now our story, it starts us off in the woods. It starts us off in a cabin. Throughout this entire story, we're getting narration from Destiny. And Destiny goes on to talk about, in this era, information is as good as gold. Knowledge. This is what gives true power in this era. Because if you have enough of it, you can bargain with the right people. You can make the right deals. And that's what Mystique is after. She is after information, but not in the way that you would think. To get a full grasp of everything that is going on, to understand Mystique's true plan, we have to go 2 weeks ago. We pick up in Germany. We pick up with Maverick. Now, Maverick's hired a team, and they're here to hunt down Sabretooth. After getting reports that Sabretooth was going to be here, he had no other choice. Sabretooth is his white whale, the get of all grabs. As they make their way through this old factory, they think they hear something. Maverick is the first to open fire. Their element of surprise, it just went out the window. Though Maverick would tell them that Sabretooth knew we were coming the minute we set foot in this area. Now this is when his team, they start to question Maverick a little bit. He's acting out of character. He's acting a little bit skittish. But when he mixes up their names, this is when they know. One of the guys that he had hired, Abel, lifts up his rifle. At this point, Abel doesn't believe that this is Maverick, forcing him to hand over his rifle, putting cuffs on him. Maverick is trying to tell them that they don't have time for any of this. But that's when the other guy that Maverick hired, he puts a bullet into Abel, and it's revealed that this is Mystique. Now at this point, Maverick's livid. Like, those were both good men that you took out. But Maverick also tells her, like, we gotta get out of here. Sabretooth is in the area and we gotta go. Of course, that was all Mystique as well. She knew that he couldn't resist going after him. But Maverick's also a little bit on edge these days ever since he lost his healing factor. Something that he's been trying to keep secret, but now it just backfired on him, and he's pretty sure it's going to again. But Maverick's not concerned about Sabretooth anymore. He's concerned about the backup. With backup showing up, Mystique grabs him and she hightails it. She throws Maverick at the backup, and then she opens fire. Without hesitation, we see Mystique pull that trigger. We see her dropping dudes left and right as she takes on the form of Maverick, one of the last guys standing. He's not sure who to shoot. Taking the chance, he shoots Maverick, and then Mystique shoots that dude. And Mystique, she even mentions, like, she's like, it's funny. I don't really understand why, but they always shoot the other guy. This is where our story takes us over to the CIA headquarters. We're in sub-level J. We're picking up with Nick Fury Jr., currently in charge of mutant tactics. It really seems like Nick Fury Jr., he's in charge of keeping tabs on mutants ever since they left Krakoa. All the high target ones, the high value ones, the high powered ones, it's more or less his job of making sure that these guys aren't out here creating another brotherhood of evil. But today's a little bit different. Today, Nick Fury Jr. is getting a phone call, meeting somebody in the park. That somebody turns out to be his father, Nick Fury Sr. Now, Sr. is really telling Jr., why are you sitting behind a desk? Like, you're a Fury. Fury should not be behind a desk. You should be in the field. You should be kicking down doors. But Senior does have some information. It's not about Xavier or anything of that nature. Senior tries to add the stipulation that you really need to act on it. You personally need to go act on this. But when Junior refuses, Nick Fury Sr., he tells him anyway. He gives him a flash drive, and the password is Darkholme, leaving his son and telling him that no matter what, you're a Fury, and I know that you're gonna make the right decision. And so we have Junior taking it back to the office, and he starts dissecting all of it. There's files on Destiny, Avalanche, Pyro, Blob, Rogue, Nightcrawler, even Xavier. Hell, there's even Grayson Creed. All of these people, in some way, shape, or form, are connected to Mystique. The more he digs around about Raven, the more that he doesn't understand, the less that he actually knows. You know, he has her in South America on the 15th, but in California on the same day. Now he's wondering, who the hell is this? And why is nobody looking into her? And the biggest question of all, what the hell is she up to? Now, this is what picks us back up with Maverick. Maverick is waking up after passing out, and one of his guards is standing before him. One of his guards trying to get some information, something called protozoa. Now, Maverick picks up very quickly that this is actually Mystique, but she knew she had to try. Nonetheless, she wants the information. Now, Maverick's very curious on how she would even know about this program. Truth be told, Raven's a spy. Of course she's gonna have information like this, though she doesn't have all the pieces yet. Taking on many forms, many spies that we have seen, many thieves we have seen. She takes on a form that's really gonna drive that emotional dagger into him, and that's the form of Maverick's brother, a brother that Maverick killed. In a fit of rage, he's able to break his binds and he jumps at her. But when he does, she's easily able to put him down. Dude's got a gunshot wound and he's bleeding out and he's not healing. He's not winning this fight. But Maverick wants to know, like, how do you know about him? How do you know about my brother? In reality, all of these spies, everybody has something on somebody. Everybody gathers information, whether it be for gossip, blackmail, you name it. Information is currency. Having information on other spies that, try to create espionage. Obviously, that's great information to have. And while she definitely wants to know about this, she also wants to know about this new shield. She wants to know about Nick Fury Jr. Now at this point, Nick Fury Jr. has done his digging. He knows that she was a big deal, part of the Mutant Council on Krakoa. She was one of the major players. But when all of that fell apart, she went off grid. He's worried having a player this big unaccounted for, it could be dangerous. They don't know what she's up to, what she could be building, what she could be creating. And so he goes to Maria Hill. He takes all of this information to her. And really, she tells him, like, this is good work, but there's a stipulation. If you're gonna go out and you're gonna find Raven, you're gonna do it with the resources that you have. These days, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't have a big budget. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of anything. Maria Hill is really telling him that you're not getting a manhunt. You're not getting endless agents at your disposal. Go do what you can with the resources that are already allotted to you. Now, we pick up a little bit later. We have Nick Fury Jr. He's making his way home for the night, talking to himself, trying to figure out how he's gonna do this whole operation with such a limited budget. But when he looks over his shoulder, he thinks he sees Raven. Taking a second glance, there's nobody there. But when he puts that key into the door, we see his entire building explode. But from the flames, we see Nick Fury Jr. still alive. He is wearing a battle suit from the S.H.I.E.L.D. agency, and now he's a little pissed off. This is what takes us 36 hours later. Now having a chip on his shoulder, he's hunted down Raven. He's found her location that was off the books. A little cabin in the woods. They kick down this door. They go rushing in. And when one of the breaching officers, he thinks that she's reaching for something, it appears that he opened fires. We see a body hit, falls down to the ground with blood pouring out, and we have the mask of Destiny lying next to the body, and the narration from Destiny saying that digging is hard work. It requires diligence. The problem with digging, though, is that you get covered in dirt that doesn't always wash off. This is going to be a problem for Nick Fury. This dark fate was inevitable. This was always his destiny. Now, as we hop over to issue number 2, we're picking up in Montana. Raven is currently making her way down the mountainside. And as we get more narration from Destiny, she's saying that freedom, this is the thing that she has wanted, and her beloved Mystique, she'll do anything for her. Climb every mountain, as the song goes. But in this case, much more was required. for Destiny's freedom. She needed more ammunition for the fight. That means more information. To dig further, she needs to go for a deeper cut. And she needs to do this before Nick Fury gets too close. Now, this is what takes us to Nick Fury and Maria Hill. Thankful that he's still alive, but a little bit ticked off that he never said that he had one of the battle suits. It's $1 million piece of equipment he's just been kinda sitting on this whole time, while SHIELD has been looking for this thing everywhere. But he's really saying that he needs to be let off the leash. That if he's gonna go after Raven, he can't be held accountable every 10 seconds to Maria Hill. That he needs freedom. He needs room to roam and be able to actually take her down. And right now, he has an informant. Somebody that is gonna help him out in tremendous ways when it comes to taking down Raven. Handing over the file and allowing her to really go over it all and figure out what's going on here. She does this before giving him the okay. And so when we hop back over to Montana, we have Mystique, who has taken the form of Pyro. She has come to have a conversation with Avalanche. Now, she was hoping that coming in Pyro's skin was really gonna ease the tensions, but Avalanche knew right off rip that this was Mystique. The truth is, he doesn't want to see anybody from those days. Raven tries to say that they used to be close, but Avalanche says, how close were we really? Like, I joined the Brotherhood of Evil. I was happy to do so. He was so ecstatic to be part of something bigger than himself. But Raven warmed up to all the others, one in particular more than the other ones, but never to Avalanche. Had it not been for Pyro, he doesn't think he would have stuck around as long as he had. He was always kept at arm's length. And so Avalanche, he really is just like, what do you want from me? Like, why are you here? What did you come to bug me about? And of course, she needs something. She needs help looking for somebody. Abigail Benson. Avalanche had met her on his first assignment, and they kinda had a relationship for a little bit. They kept tabs for some years, but it's nothing serious. It's nothing there where they're keeping tabs in constant terms. And this is where the argument starts to get heated. Raven tells him, like, it's typical. I should have known that I was not gonna be able to come to you for any kind of assistance or help. The truth is, why would you sacrifice anything? You were never even dedicated to the cause. And this is where Avalanche, he gets pissed. He starts to use his powers and he causes an avalanche. Completely buries them and climbs out himself, telling Raven that this was honestly a long time coming. But this is when Raven, taking the form of Blob, she busts out of the snow and then she goes to chase Avalanche down. And Avalanche is telling her, like, this isn't a game. This is my life. One that you have trampled all over like so many others. That you've taken everything from me. I'm not giving her too. Mystique tells him, like, I never took anything from you. Nothing that I hadn't already given you. She gets close, she gets personal, and she beats him down. She tells him to lie down and stay down. With Raven walking away, he has to ask, did you ever believe in the cause? What the Brotherhood stood for? Now Raven, she always believed in the cause. But for Raven, the cause would change to what suits her. This is where he gives up the information. We're taken to the home of SHIELD director Maria Hill. Inside her home waiting for her is Nick Fury Sr. He's here to discuss the Mystique situation, saying that Junior, he's gotta be on to something. So while the two of them sit down and discuss what's happening, we're taken to Miss Benson. Mystique taking the form of Magneto, but she's able to quickly pick up on this. But Raven is not here for anything more than this woman has been keeping tabs on Destiny for years. And so now Raven's question is, where is Destiny? Miss Benson says that she doesn't know. Ever since Krakoa, she lost track of her. But there had been rumors that a few days ago, someone was killed in an operation. She heard that Destiny might be dead. With Raven getting the information that she needs, she puts 2 bullets into Miss Benson, and then she walks away. Now, Maria Hill has heard enough information. She picks up later on. She meets up with Nick Fury Jr., and she's ready to meet Junior's informant. The source of his information is none other than Irene Adler, aka Destiny. As we hop into issue number 3, we pick up in Lowtown Madripoor. Raven is now after her next objective, doing some recon. She finds Fabian Cortez. Now this should be a quick smash and grab mission. Unfortunately, she's not the only one that has tabs on Fabian Cortez. She's not the only one that is hunting him. This is where we have the arrival of the Sentinels. The Sentinels is a group that kind of formed after Krakoa to hunt down mutants. It's a 5-issue series, miniseries I believe, and it is a series that we will be covering the same way that we're covering this Mystique series. But with Lockstep and his team reporting in, Mystique, she moves and she moves as quick as she can, shifting forms between herself and Beast. She knows she's got to get to Fabian Cortez. She's got to get to him first before these guys do. She has no idea what the hell she stumbled into, and honestly, right now she doesn't care. With Cortez catching a whiff of these guys, he hightails it out of here. But as he runs, this is where he runs into what he thinks is Magneto. And we all know how Fabian Cortez is a simp for Magneto. Like straight up bowing down, "My lord Magneto, why are you here? I can't believe you're here. What's going on?" Yada yada yada. While he grovels, he tries to incentivize Magneto to save his life. He does this by giving him a power surge. And with him absorbing this power, something is wrong. Something is off. Because obviously this isn't Magneto, this is Mystique. But taking the form of Magneto, being powered up by Fabian Cortez, she has the powers of Magneto. Now that the Sentinels have caught up, she goes toe-to-toe with them with the powers of Magneto, but with the agility, with the hand-to-hand combat of Mystique. Now, this guy thought that he had an upper hand. He thought that he was going to be able to take her on. But Mystique, now with the powers of Magneto, put some rebar through him, taking that rebar, bending it in and out of his arms, of his chest, of his legs. Doing so until this man is stuck like a puppet. And by now, the rest of the Sentinels have caught up and they open fire. Using Magneto's power, she's able to block the bullets. But she must admit that this is too much. This wasn't her plan. She wasn't planning to get powered up by Fabian Cortez. She never anticipated somehow getting Magneto's powers. And if these Sentinels don't kill her, using Magneto's powers like this, it definitely is going to kill her. Knowing that she's got to get out of here, we see her use Magneto's powers and crush one of the Sentinels. This is where we see a huge burst of magnetism come out from her, rendering all the Sentinels unconscious. She takes back her normal blue form, and we can see how truly spent she is. That's where she grabs Fabian Cortez, takes the form of Colossus, and she heads the hell out of here. As we jump over to Brooklyn the next day, we can see how much this is taking out of Mystique. Using Fabian Cortez like that, having Magneto's power, it really did hurt her. Like, it damn near killed Mystique to do that. But she's gonna have to do it one more time. As we hop over to issue number 4, we pick up at 8:30 in the morning outside Washington, D.C. And Nick Fury Jr., he hasn't heard anything about Raven in days. Not since the rumors in Madripoor. Because he's thinking, what is she looking for? She knows that S.H.I.E.L.D. has destiny. They had put word on the street that she's dead. But if Mystique is good as she thinks, we know that she's not gonna fall for this. Now, as he drives down the road, this is when like a freaking rocket comes out of nowhere and blows his car off the road. And the one that is doing this is Maverick, believed to be missing, but it appears that Nick Fury, he found him. Nick Fury wanted to be back in the field, and he's back in the field. Luckily, he's wearing his battle suit, and he grabs out his gun, he returns fire. And Junior, he's read his file. Maverick's a guy that's been in the spy game longer than most. With Maverick getting up close and personal, he's able to disable the battle suit. Junior grabs hold of him and body slams him. By all appearances, it looks like Nick Fury Jr. won this fight. We pick up a couple hours later at noon in the port of Baltimore. We have Juggernaut that just comes smashing through, asking, where is she? What have you done with her? Opening up one of these containers, we have a whole bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Ripping this place open, she finds where they were interrogating her. She finds the tape, she finds the evidence that Destiny is not dead. With this information, she takes off. This is what takes us to 1500 hours, an undisclosed location, and we have Cable, who is opening up fire. A full-on assault. She's here for Destiny, because we all know at this point Mystique has taken on any form she needs to get through these SHIELD guys. But getting down underneath at the sub-levels, they have her surrounded. They think that they're going to be able to take her in, but this is where she uses his powers. She uses Cable's powers, and there is not a damn thing that can stop her. Now, this is where it also shows us a little bit earlier in the day. After Nick Fury Jr. had his fight, he went back to HQ, trying to figure out what the hell Raven is doing. He had to go to the server room. He went to SHIELD's database, and here he uploads Protozoa. Whatever this program is, we have yet to fully figure it out, but Raven has been very interested in it. We pick up with Raven at 1700 hours. Later on in the same day, Raven is making her way through as many SHIELD facilities as she can, currently taking on the form of Morrow. Because of Fabian Cortez, she's just able to let loose, and she puts down so many SHIELD agents. Safe house after safe house she is knocking down. And so while they're all scrambling, Mystique has another plan. She has yet another surprise for them. This is where we pick up at SHIELD headquarters, 1800 hours. Maria Hill is getting a report of all the safe houses that have been hit. And though this should be a briefing for Fury, they're not sure where he is. He never reported to his debriefing earlier. His ID badge, it checks in at the building at 1100 hours. But then they piece it together. Maverick was reported missing. It is very possible that Maverick could have been Mystique. This is when we see Nick Fury Jr.'s office explode. And then we have Nick Fury that is just walking off, going to an undisclosed location. We see that Nick Fury Jr., he's actually tied up. He's been held captive because Maverick was actually Mystique. And in that fight, Mystique won. She took Nick Fury Jr. captive, went to the headquarters, uploaded Protozoa, whatever this program is, into the systems, and then blew up Nick Fury Jr.'s office. And that is what's going to bring us to issue number 5, the final issue and the closing of our story. We pick up at Yorktown Beach in Virginia. The narration coming from Destiny, knowing that her wife was going to bring her home. And all the time together over all the years, it's something that she's never doubted. History has loomed large. So much happened on Krakoa, so much pain and sacrifice, all turned to ash. And history weighs on those who remember. Mystique is one who remembers. She remembers the sacrifice. She remembers what it takes to protect those that you love. She knows what it's going to take to secure their destiny. The question that she never asked her, in the end, is it all worth it? This is where we pick up with a prisoner exchange, because the two of them, they have struck a deal. This is what takes us to 2 days ago. Mystique having Nick Fury Jr. held captive, and Jr.'s asking, like, what do you want? And at first he thinks that you want Destiny back, but she laughs and says, I can get Destiny anytime I want. Like, who do you think put Destiny with you in the first place? Destiny's exactly where I wanted her to be this whole time. She's safely in the custody of SHIELD, which means no one's out there hunting her. As long as she's with you guys, you'll protect her. Even telling him, like, I put 2 bullets into my own wife just to make sure of it. And I knew exactly where to hit her so that she wouldn't bleed out, she wouldn't die. And Junior's just now coming to the realization that one of the guys in the operation was Mystique. And he's also confused because you've been tearing apart this place looking for Destiny. Of course, this was all just a sly maneuver. All a ruse. She wanted SHIELD looking outward, not looking inward, not looking for her there, not looking for Nick Fury Jr. She wanted SHIELD scrambling so she could put her real plan into motion. But for this plan to fully work, Nick Fury Jr. had to trust Destiny. Why would you do this? And though Destiny gives very ambiguous answers, she's always honest. Destiny said that these two would meet face to face. And so eventually, Nick Fury Jr. knew that he was going to find her. And here we are. Now, Mystique goes on to explain to him, like, you have no idea how much I love. Like, you see me as a killer, as an assassin, as a spy, but everything I'm doing right now is because of love. A plan I set into motion and you can't even see it right before your eyes. The target was always myself. I wanted to kill Mystique. I wanted to be forgotten. I wanted everyone I love to be forgotten. And Nick Fury Jr., he was the key to the whole plan. She knew that he was just like his father. That once he got the trail, he wouldn't stop. She knew that shapeshifting alone, it wouldn't cut it. She needed a way to fool all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s systems. That's where Fabian Cortez had come into play. This is where we see Junior be able to break out of his shackles, and he attacks. We see the two of them begin to fight. No matter how good Nick Fury Jr. is, he's not as good as Mystique. And so as these two brawl, we see Mystique be able to stab him in the side, and he goes falling off the ledge. And she tells him, like, before all of this, I really didn't see how you made it as a spy. But now I can see it. This is in your blood. You're much tougher and smarter than people give you credit for. The truth is, though, I still played you like a fiddle. All of this, everything that happened, is because I came to you as Nick Fury Sr. You were directionless. You were needing purpose. And so I came to you as Senior, and I gave you that purpose. I used your identity both to breach S.H.I.E.L.D. and insert the Protozoa program into the database. That program is set to delete all information about her and anybody connected to her. And so if you decide to bring in Mystique, it's gonna make you a compromised agent. Or you can just let me go, make a deal with me, and we call this a day. This is what picks us up in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters yesterday. Nick Fury Jr. bringing all of this to Maria Hill. Mystique's argument is that all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents had attacked her unprovoked, so any of them that she put down kinda wasn't her fault, and that all of her efforts were more or less to erase herself from the databases. While they could really try to bring her in, trying to bring in Mystique is gonna cost a lot more lives. Nick Fury Jr., his argument here is, let's let her go. Nick Fury got played. Mystique won. But before we run our victory lap, we have Junior and Destiny having a conversation before they do the prisoner exchange. He's learned about Fabian Cortez being able to supercharge Mystique's powers in order to beat S.H.I.E.L.D. sensors. While she's no longer in the system, Junior is. He was able to look closer at her vitals, and he saw an anomaly. Destiny already knew what would happen, and he's asking, like, why didn't you warn her? And the truth is, Destiny could have, but she still would have done it. Just like Fury would have still done it. There are some people that swim against the current. No matter how much they try, they're always going to do so. And while Nick Fury Jr., he says that she's gotta pay for her sins. Destiny says that she will. That her beloved will soon learn the cost of targeting you in order to succeed in her operation. And so we pick up 3 weeks later after the prisoner exchange. Staying at a off-the-beaten-path motel, we have Destiny making her way inside, and while they're trying to keep a low profile, trying to make sure nobody knows who they are, this is where we see Mystique. And Destiny, she would never ask the question, but now she will. She has to ask Mystique. After everything that you've done to realize your master plan, after using Fabian Cortez and enhancing your powers, after what we see what it's done to your body, twisted, mangled, and cracked, in the end, was it all worth it? And Mystique's response, worth every delicious moment. That is where this series will end. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This is a hell of a fun miniseries. We get to see that Mystique, if she were able to ever truly be Omega level, she would be able to use other mutants' powers. We see that being powered up by Fabian Cortez gave her that ability, but we also see the toll that it takes on her body. But I am very curious because if I remember correctly, Mystique does have healing factor. Now it's not nearly as powerful like Wolverine or Deadpool, but can she not heal from this? And if she were to become Omega, theoretically, being powered up by Fabian Cortez should kick in her healing power as well, unless we're saying she doesn't have a healing power anymore. Now, that's my only sense of justification for why she hasn't healed, is that we're saying that she doesn't have a healing power, or the healing power just simply isn't strong enough to heal all of this. That when she was powered up by Fabian Cortez, it didn't also power up her healing ability. We also saw that Fabian Cortez got locked up in this. We kind of skipped over it. You can go back and read the comic yourself if you want to see just one page seeing Fabian Cortez locked away in S.H.I.E.L.D., which I don't actually get it. Fabian Cortez didn't actually do anything wrong, yet he's the guy locked up in jail and not Mystique. There's some weird things definitely going on in this comic, but the overall story was a lot of fun. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of things you didn't expect, but at the end of the day, Mystique was playing everybody so she could wipe herself and her love and destiny away from all databases, all information, so nobody knows anything about them. And it leaves us off on a cliffhanger, not really knowing what's going on with Mystique these days. We're left off seeing her battered, broken, scarred, and beaten, but never more happy. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything going on with X-Men, with everything after the fall of Krakoa, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you're getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.